Hello, my name is Keevin O'Rourke, and I'm a selfish, uninvolved, unmotivated, pampered narcissist who depends on his parents to do pretty much everything for him. Or more simply put, I'm a millennial. There have been many words used to describe my generation, some of which you heard me ramble off just a moment ago. I can't blame people for having these opinions, honestly. We are the generation that brought rise to Lindsay Lohan, the Jersey Shore, and most notably, and regrettably, twerking. Yeah, that wasn't one of our brighter moments. Despite these things, I believe that we are very heavily misjudged. As I look out into the audience, I see many professionals and other possible employers. I read a study that states by 2020, roughly 50% of the workforce will be made up of millennials. That means that all these do-nothings will either be working for you or right beside you in just 5 short years. I don't want to shock anybody into early retirement. It'll be okay, trust me. What's interesting about this, though, is that my generation, we're not really in it for the perks and prestige that come with the corner office or the C-level position. Forbes did a study on my generation, and they said 67% of us want to start a business, while only 13% of us want to climb the corporate ladder to become CEO or president. This incites my favorite phrase regarding my generation. Millennials just start companies because we're too lazy to get real jobs. I love this statement for 2 reasons. First and foremost, I believe that I can sympathize with this statement more than most. Being heavily involved in the Entrepreneurship Club and programs offered at the university, I get to be firsthand witness to some of the dumbest business ideas being created. Some of them are really bad, but I'm never going to tell them that they're ludicrous or bound for failure. See, Darwinism dictates that a bad business will fail pretty quickly, and if that's the case, well, they'll just move on to the next, or they'll do something completely different with their career. What I can guarantee, though, is in just 2 years of running their business, they will learn more than some will in 20 working behind a cubicle. The next reason why I love this statement is because I am one of those lazy kids who decided to start a business. Roughly 1 year ago, myself and 2 other college students started a company called Monday Creations. We are a creative agency focusing on web design and digital marketing. In just 1 short year, we've over doubled our team and turned what was a passion into a business with profits and employees. I can tell you firsthand that lazy is not an adjective I would ever use to describe a business owner. It just doesn't make sense. What I find very interesting, though, about this statement up on the projector, why is it that my generation doesn't want to get real jobs? What could be missing that is so important that we're willing to financially and socially risk our own well-being just so we don't have to work for somebody else? Having run my own business, there are key things that I find I don't know if I could get out of working for somebody else. I'm here to explain the 2 things that my generation values most in the workplace and how to get them to love your company. First and foremost, micromanaging versus autonomy. Now, when I say autonomy, you might be strictly thinking individualism, and that's not necessarily the case. My generation prefers and actually thrives in a team environment. We're very interconnected. Author Daniel Pink wrote a book called Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. And in his book, he describes 4 areas where we crave autonomy in the workplace. And they are what we do, when we do it, how we do it, and surprisingly enough, whom we do it with. As an employee, I would be lucky if I find an employer that gives me even one of these options, let alone all 4. If companies want to attract and retain millennials, they need to begin giving us autonomy over our work. It's that simple. Next, we have money versus meaning, the age-old debate. Now, before I start this, I'm not going so far as to say that my generation doesn't place value on the amount of money we get paid, because that's not true. What I am saying, though, is we view it as more of a passion rather than an obligation. Let me give you an example. When we were first starting our company, I had to make the big ask to my now business partner and saying, hey, do you want to start this company? I did this because I knew he had an entrepreneurial spirit, but at the same time, I also knew that he was working as an application developer at a very prestigious company in Cedar Rapids. He was literally making more money than any college student that I knew. Despite this, I still had the nerve to ask him, hey man, we should start this business. Well, we don't have any clients yet, which means we don't have any money, and you'll have to probably move to Cedar Falls if you want to make this work. And actually, in 3 months, I'm not even sure if this business will be a thing anymore. Well, what did he say? Of course. See, it's not that he hated what he was doing at his job, because he does a lot of the same things for our business that he does or did at his company. What it came down to is he loved programming and app development, but he was just coding for somebody else's dream, and he had no creative freedom, which made him feel powerless. Let me give you another example that might be just a bit more relatable. How many times do you think the art major, history major, or even music major has heard the phrase, well, what are you going to do with that? Or, the job outlook, it's not so good for you. What it comes down to, they don't care, because they're going to do something that they love. I'm not here to argue whether my business partner or these college students are making pragmatic choices. That's just up for debate. But what it comes down to is it's a clear indicator that my generation places a strong value on the fulfillment that we get out of work. We don't want to spend 1/3 of our lives doing something that we hate. I don't think that's a crazy philosophy. What this means is that we want to do work we're passionate about and work for someone we're passionate about. Both must be present for us truly to feel fulfilled. So what does this mean for employers? Are you doomed by the emergence of millennials in the workplace? No, not at all. What it means is you'll have to adapt and change to the new wave of employees. Honestly, in most ways, it'll be for the better. If you don't offer some of the key things that I spoke about today, well, somebody else will. And if they don't, who knows? We may start a company that competes with yours by rallying some of the greatest minds of our generation. So now that you've heard what I have to say, let me try to paint you a different picture. Hello, my name is Keevin O'Rourke. I'm a creative, independent, motivated free thinker who just wants to be happy. Or more simply put, I'm a millennial. Thank you.